I think
I can't
so.
remember if it was this or Thursday.
So yes, Commissioner Strohmeyer's in another meeting, so if one of you could share.
Okay, let's get started. Apologies for making everyone wait. We'll call it to order. Is there any comment on items not on the agenda? And Josh and I are the only two people in this room, and we're vaccinated, so we are unmasking.
Masking yourselves.
Juan, would you like me to take roll call to start?
Oh, roll call. Yes, please. So sorry.
Roll up.
It's great to hear your voice, Annie.
Thank
It is
you.
great to hear your voice, Annie. It's like, I know that voice.
All right. I have myself, Annie Cathy, Allison France, Andrew Chorney, Ann Hughes, Brian West, Casey Gannon, Chris Lounsbury, Cindy Farr, Elena Evans, Emmy Bristow, Erica Grinde, Jamar Gabreth, Jason Emery, Juanita Vero, Kyla Lennertz, Melissa Fisher, Nancy Rattel, Shane Stack, Cindy Kennedy, Violet Plummer, and we have MCAT on the line also. Did I miss anybody out there? All right, I'll let you take it away. Thanks, Juan.
Great, thanks, Annie. Okay, Cindy Farr.
Hi, good morning. So this is asking for your approval and signature on a grant that we've been getting for several years now that it says HIV treatment, but it's actually for HIV outreach and referral and testing.
Great.
So is this a grant you guys just received or you're applying for?
No, this is a grant that we just received, and we've been getting it every year for about 5 years.
Great.
Fantastic.
All right, I would move that we approve the chair to sign the grant.
Do we second it if it's a no?
I guess not.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thanks, Cindy.
Elena.
Yeah, hi, Elena Evans, hydrogeologist, Missoula Valley Water Quality District. This is an MOU for the Big Sky Watershed Corps program. It's an AmeriCorps program, and it's to bring on a member for 11 months to do some great work, such as monitoring for high groundwater.
Oh, great. Do you have the person already selected? Or?
We're in the process of selecting them. They'd start in January and they'd be here through November. We've had 2 in the past and they've been extremely helpful.
That's great. Is this the kind of he does like after college or in the middle of college?
It's after college, and actually they're at an array of different stages. So our member last year actually had a master's degree, and others who were interviewing have had other job experience as well.
Great. Well, fantastic. All right, well, I would move that we approve the chair to sign the memorandum of understanding.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh,
Casey.
I'm so excited about this. Oh my God. Jeez.
Finally got it across the finish line here, I think. So, commissioners, how you doing?
I can't say I was giving up, but I was just feeling deeply resigned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we finally worked out all the details of the contract and got that all sorted out. So this contract is with pallet shelters for 3,000 square foot units that have the cold weather upgrade, the heating, AC with beds, and that includes assembly services and shipping. So I just talked with their representative yesterday, and they should arrive in about a month, so about mid-November. So we'll have them here plenty of time. So at this point, yeah, that's the plan as of now. We're still working on our location and kind of doing all our background research on that, and we'll continue to try and get this new TSOS set up.
Casey, do you think we could be ready to go at the new site when these pallet shelters arrive? Is that how is that timeline too aggressive?
I don't believe so. I think we have a lot of stuff to get that whatever site we go with ready. I don't think we have, none of the sites we're currently exploring have all the base infrastructure that we need to just kind of get up and go. So they'll be need some work. So At this point, with that arrival time, they'll be put in storage until we're ready to go, but we'll at least have them on hand. With the unknown of when pallet will be able to deliver in the future, we went with, it was better to have them in hand than kind of play that game of knowing when they'll be delivered.
Yep.
Well, way to go, making this happen. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna move that we approve the chair to sign the contract with Pallet.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. So
Thanks,
great,
Casey.
Casey.
Yeah, thank you, commissioners. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna run and get my tea water now.
Oh,
Okay,
whoops,
can you take a
Sonic's
moment?
getting his
Just a
tea
moment.
water now.
Okay.
We can do these together, right, Cindy?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Thank you.
Sure. Yes, so these next two items are for a planning grant for a Montana Coal Endowment Program planning grant, MSEP. It used to be TSEP. They changed the name recently. The grant will be submitted to the Montana Department of Commerce. And this is for a preliminary engineering report for the old Hellgate Village.
Where's that?
It's out on Mullen Road. I believe it's behind the convenience store that's out there, which might be called Hellgate Village it's on Mullen.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have the exact address. I can get that for you here quickly though.
Oh,
Fine. Okay.
don't worry.
So it's a trailer court that they're working with Neighborworks Montana to become a resident-owned community potentially. And they need to do some upgrades to their wastewater system, and they'd like to connect to the city sewer because the city sewer is out there. And so they've been working with WGM Group to get an estimate on a preliminary engineering report. And so this planning grant will partially support the cost of a PER. And so these two documents include a resolution authorizing the submission of the proposal, and this basically saying that we agree to apply by state regulations and statutes and to meet all of the requirements of the grant. And then the authorizing statement is saying that the information that we've provided in the application is true to the best of our knowledge. Are there any more questions? Do you want me to try to find the address real quick?
No, don't worry.
We just needed to.
I can figure it out.
Top of my head.
Great. Okay, so I would move that we approve this items 4 and 5.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Thanks a lot, Cindy.
Thank you.
Be asking what comment on these. Oops, sorry. Sorry.
Cindy, could you just give me a couple sentences or give us a couple sentences on the process with Neighborworks? Are they able to help the folks who live there get some money, or is this all they just do the organizing?
No, they help finance. They have the capacity to finance the transition. So the community could be buying the property from the current owner. And so they help with the financing end of it. They also help with the organization. So they help them become a nonprofit. They help them develop their bylaws, develop their board, the whole thing. So they're really amazing. And because this grant has a one-to-one match, they're willing to help finance that the other half of the cost of a PER, which is around $30,000. So they're willing to help with $15,000. The grant, the MSTEP grant, the maximum amount is $15,000.
Great. Wow.
Yeah, Neighborworks is fantastic, and I just really am excited to. This could potentially be similar to Buena Vista, the work that we've done in Buena Vista, and that's been really incredible. So I'm hoping that we can help.
I mean, all this talk about affordable housing, being able to preserve the affordable housing that's out there has
Yes.
been more important in in the moment than creating new affordable housing.
Yep.
Absolutely. And resident-owned communities is such a great avenue for accomplishing that and giving folks control of their communities.
That's really important. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shane.
Good morning. I just have a handful of items we'll run through relatively quick. Let me share my screen for this first one. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So this first item is for a temporary construction easement on Mary Jane for the Mullen Build project. So the property is right here. That's the property that's providing the temporary construction easement. And I guess I'll show you kind of a drawing as well. It's just a 10-foot temporary construction easement, allows for contractors a little bit more room to maneuver and do work outside the right of way. So pretty standard, yeah. Do you have any questions on this?
Nope.
No.
Go ahead to the next.
Oh, you want to run through all of them?
Does that work for you, Art?
Yeah.
Sure, we can do all of them. That's fine. Let's do them all. Yeah.
All right. So the next one, and I'll quit sharing my screen, is it's a request for the board to approve Public Works a variance and solicitation of I've got 2 battery powered electric plow trucks on this. What we're doing is we're potentially going to apply for funding to acquire either 2 electric plow trucks, or we may just end up applying for 1 diesel powered plow truck. But this is through DEQ. They've got a funding basically from the Volkswagen settlement from several years ago, when Volkswagen was kind of cheating on their exhaust, so to speak. So from that, Montana ended up receiving around $12 million. And so some of that funding is going towards a purchase of equipment or vehicles for government agencies and even private individuals. So that request for applications has opened, and we've kind of taken a hard look at the opportunity to purchase 2 battery powered plow trucks. What we're running into and what we're finding is, one, there's not a lot of companies out there that are actually providing that, and 2, the ones that are providing, there's some challenges with them. One, they've got a 100-mile limitation on their mileage per day or per charge, and it, generally speaking, you're looking at quite a while to recharge them. We've inquired about adding additional batteries, and additional batteries actually equal a lot more weight. The batteries are apparently very heavy. So at any rate, we're running into some roadblocks on the battery powered component, or the battery powered option, if you will. But with this program, 85% of the battery powered truck would have been paid for by this program. They will pay up to 20% of a replacement for a diesel truck. So we could purchase a diesel truck and get 20% funded. And so if we can't find 2 battery powered trucks that will work for us, we'll probably go towards diesel. But either way, we do need a variance, and I need you to approve a variance for the solicitation, because DEQ is requesting that we provide them 3 quotes. We would normally put this out for an invitation for bid and have it out for 3 weeks and have it in the paper. And we're not going to follow that process per DEQ's requirement in this process. So hopefully that makes sense. We just need a variance for the solicitation process.
What size are these?
Say that again.
What size are, this is when you say plow truck, it's a.
Yeah. So we're probably looking at like a class 7 or a class 8 truck. I think we would probably look at a single axle plow truck if we're going to go diesel. The electric battery powered trucks, we were looking at just single axle trucks. That's all they make right now, are single axle trucks, but they're pretty small. They're I think a class 6 is about as big as that we could find right now that's being made. And there's not a lot of companies making them right now. I think by 2024, companies like Peterbilt and Kenworth and Freightliner will have more variety here, but I think we're still, just talking to the manufacturers, we're still going to be limited with batteries and their weight and their limited range. So until we get something that can go 200 or 300 miles without a ton of weight, it's going to be hard for us to move in this direction.
Yeah. Well, just gonna guess we're just a few years away.
Yeah, and visiting with the manufacturers, that's kind of what they're saying too, it might be a whole different story in 10 years. So, and then the last item is just a request to approve a budget amendment for street sweepers. So we are looking to lease 4 street sweepers. We worked with MDT and the Department of Administration on this bid is for lease of the equipment. We typically would purchase, but because of Buy American rules, we're not allowed to purchase sweepers that don't meet that criteria. And right now there are no manufacturers that are manufacturing sweepers that meet those criteria. So the workaround is essentially leasing these sweepers. We had budgeted $27,000 to lease 2 sweepers. The bids came in to where we could lease 4 sweepers for about $3,000 more a year. So we're just asking for a $3,000 budget amendment to increase our budget for the sweepers to $30,000 instead of $27,000, and the nod to go ahead and lease those 4 sweepers.
That's great, which means we just increased our sweeping capacity by like 25% or something, which is fantastic.
Yep.
That's really great, and good for you guys for trying to get as much as we can out of electric. So we're on the leading edge there. All right, this is all great stuff. I would move that we approve items 6, 7, and 8.
Is it 6, 7, 8? It is, yeah. Any public comment? All in favor? Aye.
All right, thanks, Shane.
Hey, Nancy, goodness
Nancy.
gracious.
I know. Good morning, commissioners. It is I again, Nancy Rattel, Grants Administrator with the Grants and Community Programs Division within CAPS. So we will round out the rest of the meeting today with the next 7 items have to do with the Community Assistance Fund. I was here last week and I will get to see you again in the next few weeks. Excuse me. So if you'd like, I can proceed with the 7 items having to do with the Community Assistance Fund like I did before, just to run through those.
Right.
Okay. All right. So agenda number 9 has to do with requesting the board approve a contract with the community. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to stop just for the edification of perhaps some who are not acquainted with the Community Assistance Fund. I should have just talked about that. So the Community Assistance Fund is generated from revenue from a mill levy, and it has to do with providing basic human needs to those in our community. And those needs are food, shelter, medical services, and emergency transportation. The recommendations come to the Board of Commissioners after a review committee reviews and scores applications from social service agencies in the community. This past year, so I'm bringing forth 19. There was 19 applications and recommendations for funding from the Community Assistance Fund. So I think that's important for others who may not be familiar with that fund. So anyway, we often talk about the CAF fund. All right, background. So let me get back on. Number 9 is request the board approve contract with the Community Food and Agriculture Coalition, CFAC, often referred to, and to support the expansion of the double SNAP dollars. This was a new application that we haven't funded before, and it is it was well received by the review committee. What it will fund is support a partial program coordinator and then also direct assistance through the SNAP dollars program. Item number 10 is to request the board approve contract with,
Well, thanks. I just wanted to say something about double SNAP for anybody who's listening, wondering what this is. This is means if a person gets EBT, they have a card, and they go to the farmer's market, they can swipe that card, and let's say they want $10, they actually get 20. It doubles the amount of SNAP dollars they have to spend at farmer's market. And then the money actually goes to people who grow fruits and vegetables. So the money goes back into our local economy, into our agricultural economy, and folks who are on the bottom end of the scale of economics actually get to access some of the best quality food, which typically costs quite a bit. So this has just got win-win all over it.
Thanks for saying that.
There you go. Double Snap, a great thing. It's a great program.
Oh, thanks, Josh, because you know I'm just so focused on the contract.
I know
so
you are.
Provide
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that. All right, so now we'll move on to item number 10, which is to request the board approve a contract with Youth Homes to support the Shirley Miller Attention Homes operations that serve youth in crisis. What this is to support the youth counselors that work at the Attention Home. So that is the support for that population. Item number 11 is to request the board approve a contract with Homeward to support their home ownership center programs. And this is primarily focused on the two programs, which is the financial education and counseling, as well as the home buyer education and counseling. And I've even years and years ago, I took one of their classes and oh my gosh, so insightful. So, oh, and I haven't mentioned the amounts. That was for $17,982. I think I'm supposed to do that for the record. I'm kind of off my game today. Okay, item number 12. Request the board approve the contract with the Hope Rescue Mission to provide support for personnel and operation costs that are non-security related for the TSOS. And what this request has to do in the amount of $47,358 is to help support a peer support position, counselor position, and things like a printer, laundry cards, you know, to help with that kind of assistance. So that's what item number 12 contract is. Item number 13 is a request the board approve the contract with Garden City Harvest to support the neighborhood farms food security project. And then also new, what they added in their request this year is to assist the All Nations Health Center with agricultural planning. And again, that was, and I know Josh was part of the CAF review committee, that was very important, that they were also helping out with helping to, apparently All Nations have a 10-acre plot of land. And so Garden City Harvest will be kind of helping with that planning of how to do those agricultural piece. Okay, item number 14, request the board approve the contract. Oh, again, that item number 13 with Garden City Harvest was $46,750. Item 14, request the board approve the contract with Watson Children's Shelter. And this is really just to provide, so they can purchase food. You know, they get lots of donations and contributions, but this is also for $10,000 to help them purchase food that they may otherwise not have readily available. And the last one, having to do with the Community Assistance Fund, is to request the board approve contract with the Missoula County Health Department. And this is for their for the public health nurse. And this is a phenomenal program with the foster child program where she's a visiting nurse. So she works with the foster child families, but what I found is great is that she also works with the medical providers to have a consistency in the medical records. You can imagine with foster children, sometimes things get lost. And so she's paramount to providing services to these families, but then also from the medical records so that that is established. And that was for $37,148.
Does she stay with the foster child? I mean, or how does it work? Is she with a family or with the child? Like, if the child changes families, she follows that child, or how does
I believe so, right, because this is a public health nurse in the health department. And so just has those communications and visits with the family, so the records. Does that?
Yep.
Okay. So that concludes the contracts this week having to do with the Community Assistance Fund.
Okay. I love in item 14, purchase food for meals as opposed to
food for something else.
Yeah, what else would food be for?
Okay, so I would move that we approve items 9 through 14.
Okay, any public comment? All in favor? Aye.
So just to clarify, items 9 through 15. 15 was the health department.
9 through 15.
Okay, 9 through 15.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And man, we're rolling down here. So the next 3 items have to do with the financial admin fund. So that's a separate fund also to help with some community efforts that the county supports. And item number 16 is to request the board approve a professional service agreement with the city of Missoula. And this is for the Reaching Home Coordinator. That's like a joint position that is shared through support from the city and also from the county. So we supply half of the funding for that Reaching Home Coordinator position. I believe that's Emily Armstrong, which you're probably familiar with. So she's so that's what that position is for, $35,000. And we've supported that for a number of years.
Money well spent. Emily's smarter
Fantastic.
than any 5 people you could put together, so.
All right. But she'll appreciate hearing that. Item number 17 has to do with requesting the board sign a professional services agreement with Mr. TMA, which is the Missoula River Valley Transportation Management Agency, in the amount of $3,500. Again, this is just something the county supports. It's a van pool service. And so pretty straightforward on that. And the last item, number 18, is request the board approve professional service agreement with Missoula in Motion. This is a city transportation options program, and that's for $9,900. Again, supported for all the great things that they're accomplishing there.
Hey,
Thank you, Nancy. That's a lot of good work and tons of process to get to this point. So thank you so much for shepherding us through that process and looking at a mountain of information from all these great organizations. Thanks.
Well, it's a great thing to you guys, so thank you.
I would
All right,
move
see
that
you next week.
we approve items 16 through 18.
any public comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Excellent.
Aye, thank you. Thanks so much, Nancy. Next we got correspondence.
Correspondence.
Chris?
Hi, Commissioners. Yep, we don't have anything for today. You have a couple pieces that will be coming up on Thursdays.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Or does Allison have a letter on today's agenda?
There is a letter, but I can't tell if it's being put off till Thursday or if it's today.
I apologize if I missed one. Sorry about that, Allison.
Oh, yeah, Chris, it was just the one about supporting Afghan refugee resettlement in Missoula that we worked on earlier this week. It should be out there.
Sorry. Yes, sorry about that. I, for some reason, was thinking that was on Thursday. Thanks, Allison. So, Commissioners, this was the letter you requested. As you know, some of the Afghan refugees are already being resettled to Montana, but in addition to that, there's a population of folks who've actually been assisting our military all over the world who are Afghan nationals who can no longer return home. And so this letter was in support of that program. These are people who've been thoroughly vetted, are actually serving and assisting our military across the globe. And so this letter was just in support of continuing that. As you know, Missoula has a long history of taking in folks. And so this letter would go to the IRC, which is the International Rescue Committee. And here in Missoula, we call that soft landing. So it goes to them as well.
Oh, I didn't realize.
So it's going to go to
IRC.
Missoula's IRC and to soft landing.
Oh, two different
as well as the U.S. State Department. Sorry.
Fantastic. Great. Okay. Thank you so much. We would be such an honor to host these folks who've worked with our military in tough spots all over the world. So hopefully we'll be able to help them out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I apologize again. I, for some reason, thought that was the one on Thursday, but it's today.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Anything else? Discussion items, upcoming events, invitations. Woohoo.
Very good. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.